was a very exciting time. Our ability to clear and drain land has allowed us to manage lands which otherwise would be impossible to run machinery over. Our cattle industry is actually seeing the result of some of this, as some of the set-aside land that we have for pastures, which were previously unsuitable for crop production, is now being bought up, improved, and into productive cropland. It's quite amazing. Farmers have been able to tap and achieve the perfection that they were born for. Farmers are doing exactly what farmers are born to do, and that's to improve our lands, grow crops, kill weeds, and grow bigger crop yields. And our landscape is transformed. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this technology is wrong. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's brought profitability back into our farm. Now, I'll argue that has helped our farm stay solvent. I am, however, pointing out the problem that is now created. Monoculture is stripping the diversity away from our countryside, and I do think farmers are starting to see that. So if I remember back to my calendar here, the bees coming out of winter to March, I'm setting them out to capture that pollen flow to switch that winter nest into the spring nest, and they need that pollen to be able to do that. But as our landscape's changing, they're having trouble finding the poplar pollen, and they're having trouble finding the willow pollen. And where's the wild plums and the maple? They don't have the resource that they need to be able to switch this winter nest into the springtime nest. So they struggle with whatever they have available. So then they move into their reproductive month, which is May, and that glut of dandelion is somewhere. Saskatoons, they're struggling to find the pollen they need to build and move that colony forward into a reproductive state. So then summer comes, we have that glut of alfalfa come down, and you have the clover and canola and sunflowers, this huge amount of nectar and pollen all of a sudden hits that colony, and then they start growing, and then they start developing, and then they start looking fantastic by the end of that summer period. But by the time they've actually grown and established their nest, we're at the end of August and we've missed the honey flow. So we're talking to beekeepers, talking about, well, their colonies look fantastic, but they have no honey in those boxes. It's because they weren't able to be developed in time to catch the flows. So malnourished animals are sickly animals. Like, we can look at that cow. That's not what our cows look like. Let's say that's what one of my neighbor's cows look like. But we can look at that cow and we can tell that it's in a malnourished state. We look at that bee and we can't see that bee is malnourished. It just looks like any other bee. Bees, just like other animals, when they're malnourished, they're sickly.